Venezuela and its oil are in the spotlight.
Venezuela is sitting on the world's largest estimated oil reserves.
President Trump is focused on Venezuela's oil.
Venezuela has the world's largest proven oil reserves.
So what do we know about Venezuela oil? We know the volume of it under Venezuela rivals Canada's oil sands in scale, comparable to the world's remaining conventional oil combined. But when it comes to how much is recoverable, it's less about politics and more about geology and a little about bacteria. Most of the oil in question sits in the Orinoco Oil Belt, a massive geological formation running across eastern Venezuela. USGS scientists have long estimated there's roughly 900 to 1,400 billion barrels of oil available here, but only this much is estimated to be technically recoverable using existing technology. Why? Because not all oil behaves the same way. And to understand what makes Venezuela's oil unique, we need to understand that oil is made up of hydrocarbons, molecules that come in all sorts of sizes. Some are short, light chains that flow easily, like thin syrup or water. Others are long, heavy chains that barely move at all. Think peanut butter. Geologists measure this using something called API gravity. Light oils have high API gravity, heavy oils have low. Extra heavy oil sits at the extreme end of that scale, and Venezuela's oil is about as extreme as it gets. So why is Venezuela's oil so heavy? In order for oil to form, you need organic rich seabeds that are then buried, heated, and trapped. Sometimes this happens near mountains. Venezuela followed that script. During the Cretaceous, its basins filled with marine life, later cooked into oil as nearby mountains folded. What happened next is what makes Venezuela different. Over millions of years, the oil migrated upward into cooler rock. There, microbes moved in, feeding first on the lightest hydrocarbons. What remained were those long, complex molecules, the thicker, denser, stickier stuff. This process, known as biodegradation, transformed much of Venezuela's oil long before humans arrived. The result is this extra heavy crude with extremely high viscosity. In some cases, it barely behaves like a liquid at all. Compare that to other major regions. Saudi light crude often stayed deeper and hotter, protecting it from microbes. US shale oil is locked in tight rock, making it hard for microbes to get in the first place. But Venezuela's oil lingered where microbes could survive. And Canada's oil sands, they are heavy too, forming under not exact but very similar pressures to Venezuela.
Microorganisms, most of them, they can't live in high temperature, especially here in the oil sands, in Athabasca oil sands. We are very shallow, the reservoirs, so it's the perfect temperature for the microorganisms to degrade the oil.
Heavy oil leads to two big problems. First, it doesn't flow easily. Light oil can rise naturally to the surface, but extra heavy oil has to be coaxed with heat, solvents, or by mixing it with lighter hydrocarbons to make it pumpable. Every one of those steps costs energy. Second, heavy oil is also just harder to refine. It contains more sulfur, more complex molecules. You need specialized refineries to break it down, and only a fraction of the world's refineries are designed for that job.
You can refine it, but it becomes more expensive. So the discount of the oil at the end it's higher. The production cost to make the break even will be higher and likely will be higher than the oil sands.
From a climate perspective, oils like Venezuela's are among the most energy intensive to get from the ground to the gas tank. Despite the turbulence surrounding Venezuela's oil sector, one thing is clear. Global dependence on oil and the consequences tied to it are still shaping decisions in real time.